Hey guys, this week we have a pretty cool episode. I sat down with a psychic named Megan Alisa. She was very cool. She gave me a reading. It was wild. This is definitely it's different from the usual podcast, but you know what? We're trying new stuff. I hope you enjoy it. The first 15, 20 minutes of the stuff are usual podcast stuff. But then we get into the interview and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. If not, let me know. But if you do enjoy it, let me know. It's pretty crazy. You won't believe what happens next. Just kidding. Maybe you will. Enjoy the episode. See you guys. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 114. We did it. We made it. It's the podcast. And this is finally a podcast now. After 113 episodes of just sheer uncertainty, now I can confirm this is a podcast. Fuck, man. I am so tired. All the time. It's been a fucking busy couple days, dude. And I'm going to complain about it, all right? And that's fine. I scripted all Friday and Saturday, filmed all yesterday, and now I got to film this and edit this today, and then edit the main channel video all week. Fuck. My life is so hard. It's brutal. But it's all good. It's all good. Because I like what I do and it's fine. I'm actually super pissed off because today I'm supposed to get my plaque today, my 100,000 subscriber plaque for the podcast channel. And I wanted to open it on the pod, but UPS is dragging their little feet. They're dragging their feet all over the place. They're pretending their feet are dragons and they're dragging their feet. They're shooting fire out of their feet, and I don't like it. So I've been checking my email every like 5 minutes for a confirmation. But you know what? I just said fuck it. Well, I'll wait till next week to show you guys the plaque. Again, my life sucks because I didn't get my 100,000 subscriber plaque. Also, it took them so long to be like, hey, congrats, we realize you just hit 100,000 subscribers. It took them literally like 2 months. What are we at now? Like 215 or something? 210? I don't know. I should know. What are we at? Let me do a little quick sub check. 217. And I'm just getting, where's my 217 plaque? Huh? Where the fuck is my 217? Do they send in a plaque for every subscriber you get? Congratulations on 105,692 subs. I'm just like drowning in plaques by the end of it. Like I'm a guy who doesn't brush his teeth. I'm just drowning in plaque, dude. I'm just drowning in plaque. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Well, I got new sound effects, so we can talk about those. Thank you for all the comments and recommendations. I'm hoping. I just realized that, like yesterday when I was adding these sound effects, I just realized that, like, I only thought I could have like 20 sound effects, but I realized I'm only using 8% of the total storage on this thing. And I have like 20, so I could use I gotta have like hundreds. I'm going to add so many sound effects that like, I want to get to the point where I have to like turn on my camera, start recording. I go, hey guys, this is episode blah, blah, blah. And then I don't talk for the whole episode. It's just me pressing buttons. There's so many sound effects. It's just me pressing buttons. Dude, or you know what I could do is before I like film the episode, I could just record the audio of it and then use that audio and program it to a button. And then I press the record on the camera, right? And then I sit down, I press the button of the podcast recording, and then I just lip sync it to the camera. Would that be more work? Absolutely. But would it be funny? Kinda. That would be the dumbest thing ever. It'd be so much easier to just film myself doing it. But I just love pressing these buttons. But here are the new sound effects. We got the classic. It's great. All right. And this next one is from Goat Story, another Goat Story one. But remember the skeleton playing the organ when to like transition. So this is like, I'm thinking like whenever I got to change subjects, I will play this. And this is a recommendation from one of you guys. So thank you. And then I can stop talking about poo and start talking about pee, right? That's a good, easy transition. And then what else we got? When something's really gross. So gross. And then the last one I added this week, I'll probably add like 7 more next week, but it's honestly going to get to the point where I'm like, I'm going to think of a sound effect to use. And I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And it's going to be 5 minutes of me scrolling to find it. But the last one I added is when I stutter a lot on this podcast because I don't have like a good brain, you know? So yeah, I could just play this one. So if I'm like, okay, last night and then so I think we're good for that. We have a lot of sound effects now. Bruh. And then okay. What did I do this week, dude? I was on my buddy Jacob's podcast. My best friend Jacob Sharp. I was an episode on the Mr. Friendship podcast. It was a good time. And you should go listen to it. It was me, Dean, and Jacob. Jacob gave me and Dean a cancer quiz. He asked us about like his treatment and stuff, if we like knew stuff about cancer. And I have never felt so stupid in my life. Like I haven't been quizzed in a while, and I forgot how much I hate being quizzed. Okay, I could go the rest of my life without being quizzed. But yeah, you should go listen to it. Search Mr. Friendship. It was a good time. But Jacob's finally done his treatment. He's done his cancer treatment. And hold on. Yeah. Oh, one of the audience members farted. But yeah, big exciting things. Oh, dude, I forgot to say. Okay, so I'm so bad at fucking everything, but I'm just doing a quick little intro. We're gonna shoot the shit for like maybe 20 minutes. But then I have a big interview thing with a psychic today. Okay, her name is Megan Alisa or Alyssa. Megan Alisa, I think. She's a medium. That's like the size. Well, maybe that's the size shirt she wears, but stupid joke. But no, she's a psychic medium. She's gonna come on the podcast. Like we got a Zoom call later today. She's gonna give me a reading. And then I'm gonna like interview her, and we're gonna talk about what it's like to be a psychic. Because I know what it's like to be a magician, and she knows what it's like to be a psychic, and those are kind of like the same things. not at all, but no, I'm excited because I'm a little skeptical, but I'm going in with an open mind, and I'll freak out if she gets stuff right, because she like didn't look at any of my social media. She like saw my DM and was like, okay, good. Like I don't want to know anything about you. Let's just set it up and that's it. So it's pretty. And I trust her, and I'm nervous. What if she's like right about everything? I'll freak out. Should I do some sound effects during the reading to really like to like really like fuck it up and not take it seriously at all? She's like, well, I'm speaking to your dead relative. I'm just a fucking cock the whole time. That'd be very funny. I won't do that, but well, maybe we'll see. Maybe during, I don't know. I feel like that's really mean to do. She's like trying to do a psychic reading, and I'm just like, ew. This is literally the worst thing that could ever happen to this podcast, is this fucking soundboard, but I love it. It's so much fun. Dude, I watched the fucking Social Dilemma on Netflix this week. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, let's talk about something else. Fuck, come on. All right, so I talked about the Social Dilemma. No, I didn't. I watched the Social Dilemma. I'm going to talk about the Social Dilemma, but I watched the Social Dilemma. on on Netflix this week, and dude, it was fucking crazy, man. I never want to use my phone again, even though I'm like, it sucks because I right after watching it, I'm like, okay, I got to stop using my phone so much. I got to stop scrolling and, giving all this free data to fucking Facebook for no reason. They know everything about me. I'm the product that they are selling. Because they're selling our attention to advertisers, right? And I mean, this is what I it's weird because I depend on that business model to like make money because YouTube and ad revenue and stuff. But um, I don't know. At the same time, it's like, dude, I gotta stop, you know. And then the rest of the day, I'll use my phone now after watching it. Like I'm not using it any less, but I'm more conscious of it myself. I'm like, why can't I stop? It's so weird. I need to like chill. I gotta chill, you know. But no, you guys should definitely watch it. It's there were some parts of it where it was kind of corny. Like they use like actors in it, and there's like this other storyline that's going on like during the documentary, which is weird. But it's really well done, and it's like it explains a lot about like radicalization and like how Russia and stuff, like how people can just influence elections and just totally ruin democracies all over the world. It's pretty crazy. And Mark Zuckerberg's a fucking psychopath. The way they explain, spoiler alert, but the way they explain it, if Mark Zuckerberg was like, I want more users in Nebraska today, they'll like press a button and they'll know how to do that. Like they'll have algorithms and certain things that they can do. Or like, I want more users in this country. They could just press a button and flip a switch and it'll just happen. It's crazy, man. They've automated like everything. But yeah, you should definitely watch it. I mean, if you want to hate your life and hate everything about the world we're living in now, you should definitely watch it if you want to feel like shit for the rest of the day and the rest of the week and the rest of your life. I never like cared that much. I'm like, well, yeah, they have my data. I don't care. What are they going to do with it? If like if they show me stuff I want to buy, then that's great, right? But the way they explained it, it's like, I don't know. It made me think that was a stupid way to think, which it is. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Listen, in the grand scheme of things, none of this is real. We're all going to die. We're all just on a human existence is nothing but a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things. And we are all going to perish before anything worthwhile happens. What is the meaning of all this? Why are we here? There is no meaning. There is no reason we're here. It's all chance, and we're all just trying to figure out as we go. Human existence is a joke, and we're all just here for the ride. Let's laugh at some farts while we're here, huh? Sorry for the existential crisis. It's all good. And maybe if you're religious, and maybe we do go to heaven. Or maybe we don't. You know? Who fucking knows? Maybe we all go to Nebraska when we die. And then there'll be a big uptick in Facebook users because there'll be a bunch of dead people. Dead Facebook. Dude, do ghosts use apps? Right? That'd be crazy. In the afterlife, I gotta ask the psychic that today. If in the afterlife they use apps. So like, do they got Snapchat? They must, because the Snapchat logo is a ghost. So they only have Snapchat in the afterlife, in the spirit world. Ooh, where are you? It's like a prank show, like them haunting someone, a YouTube prank show hosted by ghosts on GhostTube. They're like pranking someone. Epic haunting of Hill House. The Amityville prank. Dude, a ghost like thirst trapping on fucking TikTok. But they'd have to have ghost phones because ghosts can't like hold on to physical objects, can they? I have a lot of questions about ghosts today to the psychic. Even though I'm not even sure if that's what she does. Well, she talks to she's a medium, so I guess she like talks to she's in contact with the spirit world, but I can't just like come in like guns blazing, being like, hey, so is Casper real? And she's like, no, I'm trying I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you some insight, And I'm like, hey, do ghosts have apps? Do ghosts have LinkedIn? Can they check in to what house they're haunting? Do they use boomerangs? Like boomerang. Dude, that was a great fucking joke. Boomerang? Like boo scary? Thank you. It's a great fucking joke. What should we do? What should I talk about for another 5 minutes? Huh? I gotta kill time. I gotta kill time so it turns into a ghost and posts on its apps. Ghost apps. Oh, really quick. Okay, I'll save shitty TikTok for next week. How about that? Dude, yesterday on my podcast. Oh, no, I didn't. No, yesterday on my Instagram story, I posted a thing about, it was from AOC, and she was being like, hey, we need to vote for Joe Biden this year. I know he's not good, and he's really not an ideal candidate at all. But right now, it's just about getting Trump out of office. And a vote for a third party isn't really going to do much. A vote for a third party, it would take a lot, everybody to vote for a third party to have them win. So it's just it was something I agree with, and I think that people need to think about. And then someone responded and was like, "Aren't you Canadian?" How stupid of a fucking take is that? Are you Canadian? Why do you care about other place when you live in different place? I mean, I know your audience is mostly young Americans. 80% so is young Americans, and America is a very influential place in the world, and you also work in the States and you travel there a lot and you share a border with the States. But why would have opinion about that place? That is such a So I did this big petty thing where my Instagram story where I'm like, I'm only talking about Canadian issues from now on. But that's so silly, man. It's that whole thing is whenever I see people get mad at YouTubers or people with an audience, hey, stick to making content, okay? Don't get all political. Have you seen any comedian ever, Not to compare myself, but imagine if George Carlin was never political, right? He got up on stage and was because all of his jokes are political, basically. Political comedy. That's literally a fucking genre, dude. Hey, keep out of politics. You leave the politics to us. The plumbers. Fuck off, man. I have an opinion about politics and what should happen and what is the best outcome of this election that is possible. And I'm going to share it, right? Because all this election is about is just getting Trump out of office. Because he just terrible all across the board. And I know Joe Biden isn't fucking good either, and he's a weirdo. But that's the best. That's the best you got right now, man. It's lesser evil, It's Dr. Evil, It's let's vote for Austin Powers. Yeah, let's do that. Just kidding, don't. But yeah, vote if you're able to in the States. Please vote, and not for Donald Trump. I highly doubt there's any Trump supporters who listen to my podcast. If you are, what are you doing? You're in the wrong pod. You should be listening to the fucking Joe Rogan Experience, dude. All right, well, I guess I'll end it. I'll end this part right now. Really quick before I go, do me a favor, okay? For next episode, I want to do a bunch of Would You Rathers. All right? That'll be fun and funny. So can you guys comment some really crazy, gross, difficult Would You Rathers, and then we'll go through them on the pod next week. And we'll go through it. We'll really dissect them and really we'll really get to it. But yeah, I'm gonna end this part of the podcast, and we're gonna cut to my interview / reading with Megan Alisa. I hope you guys enjoy it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, thanks, and enjoy. Hello, everyone. This is the podcast. I'm here with Megan Alisa. She was nice enough to come on the podcast, give me a reading because I've never had one before, and everyone was saying that it would be an interesting thing to see. I think I might have mentioned, but I've always been like a little like skeptical, but I'm always like open to stuff. So I'm very excited. I'm nervous and excited.
You don't need to be nervous. I'll
Okay.
explain everything to you. I do
Great.
want to ask you, are you also open to mediumship? Are you aware of the difference?
Not can you explain it to maybe the people who don't know? Yeah.
So psychic information is things that have happened in your past, your current or potential future things, like in your daily life. Okay.
Okay.
Mediumship is where you connect to those who have passed over, and
Oh,
they come
wow.
forward and bring evidence of their survival that you can understand. And then it's basically a way to help people heal, move on in their lives, and to know that they themselves don't need to fear death.
Wow. Yeah, that's very cool. I'm all for that.
Okay. So you have people in spirit.
Yes, I would like to think so. Hopefully. They just ditched me.
Okay, so I'm going to just start this the way I start every reading
Mm-hmm.
and explain everything to you, okay?
Great.
Okay. So basically my job is to move out of the way. My job is to just move out of the way, trust what comes forward, and know that whatever comes forward is for what you need. So I always ask the spirit world to just bring forward whatever is needed for you today, whether that's information to do with your past, present, or future.
Okay.
And from spirit, those who want to connect with you, okay?
Great.
All I need from you essentially is just to say yes, no, or I'm not sure. When you say, when I say to you, you understand this, that's the only response I really need.
Yes, no, or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a no, that's okay. You can say no. If that's the case, I will usually go back to them and see if I said it in a way that's not the correct way, etc.
Okay.
If it's something you don't know, sometimes it's something you have to check with, let's say, a parent or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then you can get that confirmation outside of just the sitting, which is actually extra evidence, which is pretty cool too.
Okay. Cool. I mean, I think it's better if we just dive in, do a cannonball, if you will.
Okay. And then usually toward the end, I allow a period of time for if you have questions that you want me to feel into further,
Okay.
from anything I brought up, or if you have other questions that aren't covered. But I like to work like this because if you do have questions, a lot of times the spirit world will cover them without you having to actually ask them out loud. And I like that.
Wow. Okay, cool.
All right. So just give me a second.
Absolutely. Do your thing.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm aware of that. I know that I want to talk about an older gentleman stepping forward right away. And
Okay.
I feel like I need to talk about this being like a grandfather. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, that would make sense.
As I feel him, I want to talk about his connection to like the Navy or something to do with military. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And as I feel him also, I know that he's somebody that's sort of like gruff and tumble, or some sort of like, he has this sort of sternness about him, but I feel like inside he has this gentleness. And I feel as though he would have been very observant, and somebody that would have really enjoyed having like the kids around and that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Okay. And I know also I need to talk about your grandmother as well. And I know I need to talk about the floral, like this, there's this floral feeling that comes with her. I know she's here with him. And I need to talk about this smell that you would recognize from her that feels it smells like sort of powdery, or this sort of smell. Does that make sense? There's like this smell that she, as she comes forward, it's like sort of like a floral, I don't know. It's something like that. Can you understand that?
I think so. I can't really remember any sort of scent, but I'm sure if I was a kid, I would, I'd probably remember that.
Okay, I just know that she's here as well, but she has a completely different energy. She's very cheery. Like she just has this sort of like open warmth, and I just kind of want to embrace you and give you a hug and just I'm excited to be here. You understand this would be connected to mom?
Um, the it could be my mother's great grandmother.
Okay, so somebody that's connected here with her. Let's see
Yeah.
what else comes forward, and then you can probably find that out. But I feel as though I want to say with her especially, there's this sense of song. I need to talk about like this music or the singing, like the sense of song that comes forward with her.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. If we are talking about my mother's side, then there was a song that she used to sing with like my sister a lot.
Okay, don't tell
I
me anymore. Hold on, don't tell me
okay.
anymore. Let's just see if she it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I just feel like there's a song that's coming forward that I need to talk about, and I know that I
Okay.
need to also talk about. I just want to talk about like a canary for some reason, like a songbird. Like I just feel like I need to talk about that with her. And
Oh wow.
I know that there's this genteelness with her. I feel like I sort of have a white glove of, and I want to like clean the dust off of things. I want to like go like this and just I don't know, but I just feel like she's very much like that. And I
Right.
know that she's also somebody, but she was so kind and gentle. I mean, she's just absolutely lovely. I know with her, I need to say the legs would have been a difficulty with her as she got older. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
I very much feel that. I know that there also is this sense of a slow decline, as though I need to say there was a chance to say goodbye from your mom. Does that make sense to you? I feel like there was a chance to say goodbye to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that she wants to
Yes.
recognize this and say thank you also for all the things that you guys did to help make her feel warm and safe is really what I need to say. As though there
Aw.
was this taking care of her as though she was a child in a way, to make
Wow.
sure she had this protection or this thing around her. And I know also she's also talking about the memorial service, and I feel as though that there was a very close-knit family that would have been there. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And I know that I want to talk about the lemonade or like the punch. I just feel like I need to talk about like the lemonade. Does this make sense?
Uh, I don't know. I
There's
don't
something
know.
I need a picture. There's like a picture of like a lemonade I need to talk about
I
with her. And I feel like this is actually associated with something to do with the service for some reason.
okay.
But you can check in with mom about that. But
Okay.
I know that she's here, and I need to tell you also, she's extremely proud of you for what you have accomplished in your life because she knows that you did not have an easy upbringing. Does this make sense? I need to say there was a very difficult time period for you.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And she's talking about there's so much more for you. There's so much more for you that you haven't even, your mind hasn't even gone to yet, but there is much more for you. And she needs you to know this because sometimes you have this feeling of, am I doing enough? Is this really it? Is this kind of where I'm going to be at? Like there's this sort of feeling of this
Yeah.
thing. And she's saying, no, there's more. Just wait it out. Wait out. You have to have some patience, and you're not very great with patience. And so
Right.
she's just reminding you to just try to chill because she's very much that sort of chill sort of energy of just wait, it's coming. So I
For
need to say
sure.
that with her. I'm going to go back to grandpa here because I know that he also has some things he wants to say. You would understand grandpa would have also smoked some cigars.
Uh yeah.
Okay. And I know that I feel like grandpa, I need to say that he would have been affected in the mind. Is like, I feel like I need to talk about the mind. I also feel like I need to talk about the legs with him as well, which is actually interesting. But I also know that something to do in the chest here was affecting him, as though there was a cough or there was something. I just feel like I need to clear my throat a lot. Does this make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. He was a heavy yeah. I won't say anymore. I won't say anymore. Sorry.
But I know that there's his car. He's talking about his car and driving to like an age that he shouldn't have been. Does this make sense? Because I feel like I'm driving a little like
yeah.
wonky. Like I just feel like I'm just
Yes.
sort of like this. But he enjoyed his freedom, and he was somebody that was incredibly independent and didn't like to be coddled. Does this make sense? Like
That
he
yes.
did not like that. And I know that your family tried to do things to help him, and he was like, "No, I can do it on my own. I don't need your help." This is like
Right.
he's very much like that. But I do need to say he would have been cremated. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I know that this I feel like the family member has him still. Does this make sense to you? It's like I feel like I need to say a family member has him.
Um, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, they must. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'm not sure who.
I feel like a woman has him is what I feel, but I just want to say that I feel like he's approving of this and is okay with it because I know
Okay.
there's a lot of questions in the family. It's like this is this the best final resting place for him, and he's like, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Um,
Right.
but I also need to talk about like he's showing me these medals that he would have had that someone in
Okay.
the family also has. But I just feel like there's this one in particular that was something of great importance to him that he treasured, and it's in like a box that opens. But I feel like I
Hmm.
need to talk about this, and I feel like a son has this is what I need to talk about. And I know that he would have. Can you understand? He would have had many children. Like I feel like I need to say like five.
Uh, my grandfather would have, yes, he would have a lot of children.
Okay.
Yes.
I just feel like he has a lot of these kids. And I know that I need to say that he would have tried incredibly hard in his life to make ends meet. I just feel like we're just constantly trying to make ends meet here. And just, it was a little bit difficult. And I do want to say, I know that some of the children would have started working quite early on in like their teenage years, like
Hmm.
15, to try to help sort of make ends meet and to make things work in the household. And I feel as though I need to say your dad in particular. Does that make sense? As though I need to say like there was somebody, I need to say that he worked very hard, was having a difficult time in life. I really need to say with your dad. And
Yeah.
there's this sense of melancholy or this sense of like, um, I don't know. There's just this sense of that with him. Can you understand that your father would have sometimes had difficulty with substances or alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just feel like your grandfather's bringing this up to say that he understands, he knows things have been difficult, have been hard, especially early on with them. But I just feel like I need to say that there's your grandpa also is really very much making me feel as though I need to have an apology for some of his gruffness and some of his lackluster way he spoke to people. I just feel like he's really just saying he's sorry for not always being as kind as he could have been, and and shaping your father into the way he is really what I need to say,
Wow.
because there's a lack of understanding or a lack of it's just hard. Okay, without getting too personal, it's just hard.
Yeah.
And I just know he's apologizing for this, so please take that in and know that. Let me see what else is going on here.
Wow.
Okay, I feel like I'm shifting into he's still here, but I feel like I'm shifting more into the psychic stuff. Okay,
Okay.
so I know I've already touched upon so I'm going to talk about some of your past stuff because I feel like that is something contributing to your now as well. So I
Okay.
know I need to talk about you being incredibly sensitive. Most people don't realize how incredibly sensitive you are, but you are incredibly sensitive, and that has shaped who you are. And I know that you're the very creative, expressive, almost volatile sort of thing that you need to like get out of you. Does this make sense? Like it just feels like this sort of ball of frustration or this, but it needs to come out in an artistic way, in a beautiful way. Like you have
Yeah.
beautiful things.
Yeah.
And I know that you would be somebody that just has a couple very close friends that you trust, because there has been people that have misused your trust because you're incredibly trusting, and you're very, very kind. As though I want to talk about your kindness toward animals, especially. And I
Oh,
know I need to talk about that, and that's recognized. But I need to say that what you have done with where you've come from is an incredible and beautiful thing. And what
oh,
you've created out of it is going to be more helpful for people than what you realize. So I feel as though you are not only working on this sort of thing, but there's other projects you're working on or trying to get off the ground. Does this make sense? It's like, I feel like I need to say that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And but it's going to be something that helps people. Like, I just feel like there's something that's going to help people with this. And I know that there's also, this musical quality with you. I just feel like I'm playing guitar, and I just feel like I need to, like, there's this beautiful music that's sort of surrounding me.
Oh, wow.
Well, and then you also have this sense of like but it's like powerful. It's like very powerful, and it's part of like your expression, like that deep part of you that's still sort of healing and sort of trying to figure out why things were how they were, because you have this mind you like to understand. You want to understand it. You want
Yeah.
it to fit together and make sense. Like if it doesn't, then you're just like, no, I'm gonna set that down. I'm not even go there with that.
Yeah, that's
And
very accurate. Yeah.
and so I feel like that your past is, I just feel like we're just like sort of on the precipice of like a new unfolding, as though we're just kind of starting on a new journey in this way. Because you have in the past few years, I feel, started to really understand a lot more of what has happened in your life and why it's happened how it has. And I feel as though you've done a lot of work in that way. And I even see you doing some like journaling or writing down your thoughts. Does this make sense? It's like, I feel like I need to say that. And that
Yeah.
has really helped you process it, because otherwise it's like a ball of spaghetti in your mind.
Right.
So I could feel like that's something that's really important for you. And I
I,
do feel like some of these words will become like lyrics or become something else. I just feel like it's sort of shaped into these other things for you, which
wow.
is incredibly healing as well. So I know that. Now I want to talk about I know there's a one or two strong female presences in your life, and I feel like I need to talk about this. You would understand being very close with your mother. Like I just feel like I need to say you're very, very close with your mother.
Yeah, that is correct.
That relationship has been both easy and difficult. Like I just feel like there's this you guys are very similar, and I feel as though sometimes there's a butting of heads because of that. There's a stubbornness here, and you're both very like, I'm doing this,
Right.
and sometimes it's hard to understand why the other person is doing what they're doing. But I feel very close, like very close friends, very close in your relationship. And I know I need to talk about the other woman here. I need to say, and this feels more like a girlfriend or somebody close like that to you, that I need to say that is
Yeah.
somebody that has brought you great joy, and has really I just feel like she's shown you a new side of things that you never looked at previously. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I know that she's just opened your mind. And there's this, it feels like a longevity. Like I really just feel like there's a longevity here with this relationship. And I feel as though I
Good.
need to say that there's, it just feels like you're like two hippies in a pod. Does that make sense to you? Like,
Yeah,
I
that
feel like it's just like this. And I feel like there's this calling toward this nomadic quality of, I need to say there's a calling for both of you to sort of get on the road and go see the world. Does this make sense?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I do feel this is something you're working on, is though I feel like in the next 5 years, we're somehow able to accomplish this. So I feel like that's sort
Great.
of coming. And I need to say that there's going to be some time spent in Europe as well. So I know that that's something that will be happening.
Good.
Um, and she's great. Like she also loves animals. She also just is so loving. Like she's just incredibly loving. She makes
Hmm.
you feel safe. She makes you feel like you can express whatever you need to. She has her own issues from her past. She has her own stuff, but it's like you guys work, like kind of go back and forth and kind of work it out together, if that makes sense.
For sure.
So let's see what else is going on.
Oh.
All right. So you have asthma. Does that make sense? It's like I feel like I need to talk about the lungs.
I used to. Yeah, when I was I used to have asthma. Yeah.
I feel like I need to still bring this up, is that sometimes I just feel like a clenching in the chest. Does this make sense?
Um, I don't know. Maybe sometimes. Now that I think about it.
I'm just kind of feeling into your health and that sort of thing, but I just feel like
Yeah.
the asthma is still sort of something lingering on the back there somewhere in the, I just know it's still something that's there. Um,
Okay.
Now I know I also need to talk about, do you understand just having sort of weird random phantom pains? Like I just feel like I just have like these random pains in my legs, or like
Yeah.
random sort of pains happening in the body.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
I feel as though that this is something to do with the nerves, and something to
Okay.
do with sort of like a delicate nervous system. And I do feel like I need to talk about the caffeine consumption, as though that doesn't help. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
And I do actually want to tell you, I feel as though you have own psychic experiences that you completely shut off or deny. Does this make sense? It's like I feel like you sometimes get like these, oh, that thing, and then it happens, and then you're like, oh, that's weird. That thing, I like kind of had that thing come to me, and then it happened. That's so strange.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty, if anything, when it comes to stuff like that, I usually just, well, let's move on.
I know. So you think everything's a coincidence or like, oh, that's weird or whatever. And then, but I just
Yeah.
want to say, like, I do feel, I know, okay, everybody is psychic. That's how we're all interconnected, how I'm able to do this, all of that. But I
Yeah.
do feel you have a sensitivity there that you could develop further if you should wish to. And to know that when those things happen, to just sort of acknowledge them when they
Okay.
come in a more, I think this experience will help you to see that, honestly, but I just feel like more of that sort of going to come as you open up a little bit more. You understand like a I need to talk about like psychedelic experiences. Does that make sense?
Psychedelics.
Like there's like a curiosity, or there's like something over here that I need to say, something to do with that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I feel mm, I I'm not sure anything's going to come of that, but I just feel as though I need to talk about the psychedelic experiences as though at some point in the future there might be something we experience with that, with a group of
Okay.
people. And I just kind of set that over here to the side. Um,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you because I'm not feeling anything just sort of coming to me at this point. So I'm going to ask you if you have questions I can feel into for you.
That was a lot. Is it like a normal thing for people to get like emotional during stuff?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Completely normal. Yeah.
Okay,
And
good.
sometimes it takes a couple days to process kind of everything that came forward.
Yeah.
Because really what I'm doing is touching that part of your soul that recognizes that you're a soul and a body.
Right. The only person I was thinking of when you talked about my grandfather is my great grandfather, and who was like, who always, if there was an afterlife, like, if there is one, then I hope there is one, because then I can like see him again, because he was like a huge part of like my, like me growing up. So that was the only thing I was wondering about, like if if he was like watching me and like be like happy and stuff. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, let me see if he has anything. I think that's why he came forward first,
Right.
but okay. So I just see like a grin on his face, but I know that I know that I can say this for every spirit person, is that they are happy and that they've left their body that had all these, whatever the issues were, they no
Mhm.
longer have to deal with that. Again, I just feel there's this pride or this very proud feeling that comes when I feel him, when I going toward you, that he just feels like you've done so well, with everything you have, and that you're going places, again, just this feeling of you don't know where you're going yet, to just sort of let it unfold. You haven't even gone there yet, it's not even in your preview, but he's
Wow.
saying that he's going to be there, and he'll be assisting you.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Is there was one thing that happened with me and my sister. It was like, this was years and years ago. We were staying at my grandparents' house where my great grandmother and grandfather lived also, and this is after they passed. This is like maybe like a year after my grap is what I called him, is when he passed away. We're sleeping in the basement, and 3:33 in the morning there was an alarm that went off that was like never went off before. And we were like scared because we were kids, because we were like, what the heck, it's like so loud, it woke us up. um so is that like, was that him trying to like say what's up, or
Let me see what I feel from that. Okay, so he's just making me feel like you obviously know that it was like,
yeah.
like yeah, like
Okay, we I didn't
obviously
know,
know that it was.
I didn't know if it was like a coincidence or not, but
No, he's very much making me feel as though there was a lot of talk about him in the house at that time, and there was a lot of bringing up his memory and that sort of thing that was happening with the adults, especially.
mhm.
He's very close to your family. He's very much a family, a close knit family person, and he will continue to try to do things to make you aware, all of you aware, that he is safe and fine and there with you still. So there are things that will come up. It's just you guys have to be open minded to receiving it and understanding where it's coming from when it
Okay.
happens. He's very much making me aware that yes, that was absolutely him, and he I just feel like he sits. I feel like there's a chair in your room in the corner, and he sits in it. Does this make sense?
Okay, yeah.
And he sits in that and just sits and watches,
Okay.
not in a creepy way,
In
in an appropriately grandfatherly way.
a loving way, right?
Yes.
Wow, that was crazy. That was something else. Yeah, there was one part, and I was like you said, I'm a more sensitive than I let on, I guess, because I started crying a bit. I was like, this is weird. I'm not. This is not. I don't usually do that, but wow, this is great. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about just like being a psychic?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
very fascinating to me. I was when did you know like your whole life basically?
So, like, when I was a kid, I had a lot of precognitive things happen.
Hmm.
And I would tell my mom about it, and she'd be like, it's just a coincidence. But, like, I knew
Right.
it wasn't. You know what I mean? I knew it wasn't. And I know that my grandmother and my aunt have told me that when I was very little, and I don't remember this because I was so little, but I would talk to them about my deceased great grandmother and
Hmm.
talked about things about her, but I didn't know, I'd never met her.
Right.
So they felt like I was talking to her at a very young age. I just don't remember.
Wow.
And then I've always had an interest in this stuff, not ever
Hmm.
knowing that I would end up doing this. So I was always interested in like the shows about mediums and like the ghost shows and like
Right.
all of that. Like I was always fascinated, just thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
But I never had any idea I would end up doing this.
About like ghost shows and stuff. This is what I wanted to ask. Do you think pop culture does like a good job of like portraying? No, they do a bad job.
No, not at all. You know, all for that for them, and I understand it's about, you know, getting views for them. It's not
Right. It's the
about
clickbait. Yeah.
explaining the spirit world or the love that the spirit world is it's not scary whatsoever. I don't do any protection. I don't
Right.
I've never had a scary experience or a negative experience, not ever doing this work. And
Wow.
I've connected to many, many spirits, and yeah, never had anything negative. So here's the thing about it. You have to remember that your mind, your subconscious, and everything you've absorbed from things like those TV shows or religion
Right.
or whatever that's scary is going to shape your perception of what you're experiencing.
Right.
So, like, and I use this example a lot of if you, let's say, were to become aware of a spirit and you started to feel like your neck starting to feel tight or something like that, you would think probably they're trying to strangle me, right? Whereas someone like me that has an understanding of they're trying to give evidence of their life, I
Right.
stay neutral and I think, and I start to say, oh, I'm experiencing this thing in my throat. I know that means that they had something that happened in their throat. And as soon as I say that, it stops and it moves to something else.
Wow.
So it's all about how you view things. I want people to not be afraid of death. I want them
Hmm.
to recognize that they're a soul in a body living an experience where they're never truly going to die. So to
Okay.
fully live their lives, you know what I mean? Really live your life. Don't be afraid to not live your life.
Right.
And to not be afraid of the spirit world because there's nothing scary or anything that's going to hurt you. Honestly, they want to bring you love and support, and there's nothing else that I've ever experienced. So
So is it like how much harder is it for you to like do these like virtually instead of like in person? It's the
not
same.
any harder at all. Yeah, no,
Really?
because
Wow.
yeah, energy doesn't conform to any one place at all. You know, energy is free to move wherever it needs to go.
Dang.
It doesn't need to be held by matter or time or space. So it makes zero difference at all. I wasn't sure how it would go at first, but it's been
Hmm.
perfectly fine. And I do demonstrations of mediumship online. Like I do free ones a lot of times on my Instagram live
Hmm.
where I just basically like open up and see what spirit people are there and I start giving evidence and I connect with the right person, whoever's there. Like I have no idea who it's for. Like
Wow.
it just sort of, so it's been, yeah, it's been fine.
What so if someone is like curious about like if they have any or they want to start tapping into this or maybe they have the ability to be a medium one day, what do you think what should they do?
Yeah. Okay. So it's incredibly important to go through development in your
Hmm.
training because you cover things like ethics, which is incredibly important.
Right.
And because you can do a lot of damage to somebody unknowingly, if you don't know the right way to deliver things, or you don't know what's okay to talk about, what isn't, if you don't know the difference between your own mind and that of the information coming to you in a receptive state, it's very important that somebody goes through development.
Right.
And so I actually have like, I've been trying to, like, on my TikToks and that sort of thing, I've been trying to help educate people on to give them resources to find a good development circle, or find books that would be helpful, or resources on Facebook, because there's groups with about mediumship and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to like do my best to like help like take people in the right direction, because there is a lot of nonsense crap out there.
For sure. With anything, yeah.
Yeah. And so the more we can have people that are trained out there trying to help people that don't know about this stuff, or that want to explore this, to know the right way to go about it, I think is incredibly important. So I'm never like, I feel like me and like other people that do what I do, we're on the same team. Like there's no competition. It's not like that. We're not going to run out of dead people. There's a lot of people in the world that could use our help. And so, and not everybody's going to like feel called to me, you know what I mean? Or to whoever else. Like, it needs to be a good fit.
Yeah. It's like you wouldn't just go and operate a forklift. You need to know how to do it right.
Yeah. And so the people that have this naturally, it's still important to train it. You still have to do that. And people that are just interested in it and don't know if they can do it at all, it's still a good idea to go to development circle and try, because you never know. Yeah. It's important to have a teacher that helps to guide you in the right way.
Well, I mean, I guess we can end it right here. This was great. I mean, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome. I want to be very clear that I never spoke to you except for through Instagram messages before this. I didn't. I purposely didn't want to know anything about you. I didn't look at any of your content because I like to not know.
Yeah.
Because it helps me not go into my mind, and it helps to have better evidence come forward.
For sure. Yeah. I think I mentioned that briefly in like an intro before this, but but now you're hearing it from both of us, and we're very trustworthy. We wouldn't lie about this.
Because there's going to be people that are going to be like, yeah, they already talked about this beforehand, or like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, whatever, you can do that if you want. That's fine. I know what I know, and you know what you know, and that's
exactly. Do you want to plug your stuff? I guess.
So I do private readings, like we just had through Zoom, and that can be scheduled at meganalisamedium.com. And I'm on TikTok at Megan Alisa Medium.
Nice.
I love TikTok. It's the best. I hope
great.
Ever. And then I'm on Instagram at She's Got a Rebel Heart.
Great.
So yeah, and I'm open to, if you guys have questions that I can help you with, I'm open to trying to do that for you. And
awesome. You do it all.
I do. I just love it. Honestly, I love this work. I love the spirit world. I love helping people. I just love it, all of it. And so
that's good. It's nice. It's nice seeing people. It's easy to tell. It's very obviously you can tell you enjoy what you do. So, well, that was the interview. Back to the regular podcast. All right. Well, that was the interview / reading. Hope you liked it. I filmed this before I did it, so I don't know how it went, but hopefully it went all right. But yeah, that's the episode. Thanks for listening / watching. Rate, review the podcast if you're listening. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Again, comment a would you rather for next week. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. It's very, really good. This is a great time. I love doing this podcast, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it as well. So thanks for the support. Love ya. Hopefully new video will be up later this week, but we'll see. You know how I am.
Fishy, fishy, fish. Making it stinky.
I always make it stinky. So yeah, thanks. Love you guys. Peace out.